Hi everyone, my name is Rishan. Today is the 9th of February 2025 and I'll be going over my bi-weekly now predictions for Nvidia. From now on I'll be posting videos once every 2 weeks instead of once every week. As usual, I'll be going over the monthly, weekly, and finally the daily charts, and then I'll switch over to the Excel sheet. Excel sheet where we'll review last week's or 2 weeks ago's prediction and go over this one in more detail. But before getting into the video, it is important to make the disclaimer that all information here is completely educational, and therefore it is important to conduct your own analysis, whatever analysis that may be, to ensure that you're comfortable with the risk, reward, and trading style, since you may not be with mine. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video. So Nvidia, as pretty much everyone in the market knows, again, historic bull run. We can see how steep this bull run was. However, in recent history, volume has started to decline. But we can see that in the past few months, it's been starting to pick up a little bit. Especially, we're seeing a little bit of volume recovery, and hopefully we can carry that into the coming few months. 2025 is expected to be a very, very, very bullish year for Nvidia. Although we had that, that shock with DeepSeek, but overall, the full impact of Blackwell is expected to roll out in 2025, along with their new RTX gaming thing as well. So that's again going to play a huge part in Nvidia's performance this year, and is again expected to be a meteoric rise. MACD, still bullish, although the histogram is starting to wane a little bit. This month, although hasn't closed by any means, of course, right now it's a piercing line pattern. However, we can't really predict on a month that's just started. January closed extremely bearish. This was again the huge shock came from DeepSeek. The single worst day that a stock has ever performed was that day that DeepSeek came out with their new model, and we can see that reflected in the price here. However, we can see the recovery was quite strong, and right now we are forming a piercing line pattern, which is quite bullish in a sense. However, we do need to wait for the month to close to be able to say, because naturally the price could go up or down and completely invalidate this pattern. RSI is overbought still. It was just dipped down, but didn't go back into the accepted zone. It dipped just above, and it seems to be rebounding again. But that's what we get from the monthly charts. Weekly charts, slightly more detailed. We had this sort of double top pattern going on, and if this was a close below, we could have counted it. However, this week was technically a close below the neckline. However, I didn't count it because, it's not, it was largely fueled by news. It seemed like a short-term thing, and that's why I didn't count that as a close. However, last week though, is a bullish engulfing pattern, very strong one at that. Although the volume wasn't high, obviously this week was much higher volume because of the news. We can see that if you take away this bar, this is actually pretty decent volume. It's for sure about average or above average volume, especially in recent history. So this bullish engulfing pattern has some merit as to where it may lead Nvidia. RSI bearish, MACD bearish as well. However, this single candlestick pattern may give some insight as to what's to happen in the future, and especially in the near future. So daily charts, we can see, again, we had this huge rocky double top pattern, or at least rectangle if you want to look at it from here. And then we had this drop below. However, we can see prices recovered quite well. We see that, it's just closed above this resistance, which may itself be a strong signal, but we need just a little bit more confirmation, because we can see that the volume has been declining heavily. Although these were all spikes in volume, we should be expecting around, the volume bars to hit around this much, because this is relatively low volume, and MACD histogram is starting to wane back up, and we may see a crossover soon. So that's another signal that I'm looking for personally as well, to validate a bullish signal. So that's all we get from the charts. If we move here, we can see that we'll buy Nvidia this week, so again, let me just change this. I'm going to be doing this in all of my videos for this week, because this is for the next 2 weeks. So 21st of February, we'll buy when Nvidia crosses 131.3 and sell when it falls below 126.65, with a target of 2%, trailing stop loss of 1% if neither are hit. More importantly, if the stop loss isn't hit, then we will continue the position if the signal is strong enough. However, if I feel like the signal strength is waning, then we will just stick to the target as well. Again, that's variable. The weekly trend is up, monthly trend is up as well. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Enjoy, and I will see you in the next one.